And we are back for another casual conversation with the classic. Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy, the wrestling classic, Justin. I'm here with none other than Vinny Pacifico. How are you doing today?
Doing phenomenal. I had a very busy day, very fun day. A lot of stuff went down, but here we are.
It's been a while, man. We've known each other for a very long time. This is the first time I'm having you on the show. You've done a whole bunch of stuff since we've known each other. When exactly did you start wrestling in? Like, what year was it?
2014.
Okay, so I started my page in 2014. So it's literally the same amount of time. That's insane.
That is insane. That is, I think 2014, 15. I remember starting it. Brian won the world title at WrestleMania, right? That was
WrestleMania 30, 2014.
That's when I started. Yes, I remember right after that.
What made you want to pursue professional wrestling?
So I went to a meet and greet in the city and met Daniel Bryan, and this was in like Manhattan, and went up to him. I was like, I want to be a wrestler. I play football. I'm a quarterback, but I want to get into wrestling. I was 14 at the time, years old.
Yeah.
Or 15, but I was 14, but I think it was 14. I was like, hey, I want to be a wrestler. I'm 14. I love wrestling. I've been a fan of it. I played football. I just got freshman year of high school. I want to try wrestling. And his words, he was motivating. He said, go for it, chase your dream, and just do your best. And he was like so supportive of like me doing it, gave me advice, and he was so open to helping and like giving the some advice about it, And it was very, very eye-opening to me to hear him talk and listen to him. And that was it. Once I heard that, I was like, I'm going to wrestling school. I'm going to wrestle.
So was Bryan Danielson one of those people you looked up to growing up? Like, were you a wrestling fan growing up?
Yes. Bryan Danielson, Rey Mysterio was a big one too. John Cena, Kurt Angle, of course. I got to be on the Kurt Angle podcast last year, which was a phenomenal opportunity.
How was that for you as like the fan in you?
On being on the podcast was so cool.
Yeah.
It was just really cool because I remember watching one of my first pay-per-views I ever watched was like DVD-wise at Blockbuster.
Yeah.
I was No Mercy. Yeah. No Mercy, John Cena versus Kurt Angle at No Mercy. 2003, I think that was, 2004. But that was one of the matches I saw that really captivated me. I always go and watch old stuff, But Kurt is someone who's bar none one of the best wrestlers in the world. So getting to talk to him, learn from him, and pick his brain and have his support was amazing.
So when you decided that you want to pursue professional wrestling and kind of leave football behind, was there any issues that you had to overcome with that? Was your family behind you with it? Was that sort of a situation, or how did that work out?
My family was very supportive. They were like, "You're crazy. Okay. This is crazy." My dad is an amazing man, and he was very supportive of me. He did say to me, play this one season of football, right? I was playing flag football and tackle football. I was doing both.
Yeah.
He said, do this season of high school football. Yeah, do the season. And then after that, you could wrestle. And I was like, it's not in me. I have no more joy through this football. The coach wasn't really nice. It was very like not fun anymore. I loved it for years. I was a very good quarterback. But eventually I was like, you know what? I just want to pursue wrestling. This is all I care about. This is all I see. So he was supportive of it. I started training. Eventually started training at the Ring of Honor Dojo. And Ring of Honor Dojo was the place where I really got stuff going. I worked for Ring of Honor. I've got to travel with them. I got to learn a lot from all their amazing coaches and work with some amazing talent. And it was just a progression throughout the years. Every year, I believe, or every few months, I believe you should always progress. Yourself, you do all the time. Yeah, I always believe there has to be, of course, there has to be progression. There has to be something different you're doing. There has to be an evolution to what you're doing to get to where you want to get. I'm very goal driven. I have so many goals. I have a lot of what's the word? What's it called? What's the word for it? Deadlines. Deadlines. Yes, I have deadlines. Like I have to be this weight this day. I have to look like this day. I have to be this tan this day. I have to lift this much weight this day. And I believe that when you have those deadlines and you have those goals at hand, it's so beneficial. Like I'll tell you what, last year I had all these matches set. Me versus Alex Shelley for the Impact title at FWE. Sadly, it didn't happen due to injury. He couldn't make the show, but it was still a match that I had booked, right? I had an interview with Brian Alvarez. I had an interview set up with Kurt Angle, and I was going to sign a contract with G Fuel, right? And those were four things that were all like within a week. They were all possibilities. They were all like being discussed. In that same week, all of it happened. All 4 of those things happened, right?
That's
so
awesome. Yeah.
it was I had a vision for it, and I visioned it happening, and I did what I had to do to make it happen. G Fuel was very, very invested in what I'm doing with the character. My character, pretty much, it's not really a character, it's who I am. But it would be Popeye with energy drinks.
Yeah.
Right? Something like that. So
yeah, for those that don't get it, Popeye would eat the spinach and boom, next thing you know,
yes,
that's what gave him his muscles and his power, and he'll always eat the spinach.
Exactly.
For the younger fans out there that might not have watched Popeye.
Or you could say Tasmanian Devil. If with the energy drink, you go crazy, whatever.
Yeah.
So G Fuel was way behind it. They were like, we want to sign you. We love what you're doing. You have this amazing persona and you're an amazing wrestler. So they brought me on the team immediately. And that whole week, all those things happened. So like I said, having a visual, ever since I'm 14, 15, 16, having a visual of what you want to happen and how you're going to get there is so clutch and so important.
2 questions. I'm going to take it back for a second. How old were you exactly then when you started training? Because you said you met Brian when you were 14, 15, but you also said you started training around that time. Were you 14, 15
years old? Yes, I believe so. Yes.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And then at the dojo at Ring of Honor, who were your trainers?
So I tried training at the dojo a little later, like a few years.
Who'd you first start training with? Because I always feel like when someone breaks into the wrestling business, it's find a school. I've heard this in a lot of different interviews. I've heard this from a lot of veterans in the business where they're like, the problem with today is there's so many schools.
Yeah.
But it's the idea of vetting for the right school, because there's a lot of schools that will do a camp, try to, make some cash off you for like a 3-week camp, but they don't really teach you what you really need to know. They'll send you off with taking your $3,000 and teaching you for 3 weeks and not really putting you in the right place. What was it like for you to find the right school? Did you have like where did you start? Like, who would you give credit to really help you in?
So I would say I started out at ECPW.
Yeah.
I was there for a short time though. Then I went to Ring of Honor. So it was like a very short period, right? But I was training with Sonny Kiss, Mike Orlando, and Ali Rex. Those 3 were amazing. But Gino Caruso was the starting trainer, teaching me the ropes, the beginning stuff that you need to know. It was very hard for me to transition from fan to wrestler at first. It was different for me. Everyone else was older, so it was very easy for them to get it. For me,
you were young. You were 15, 16 years old. That's crazy.
Yeah, it was. But when I went to Ring of Honor, they were very. It was Will Ferrara, Cheeseburger, Delirious, John Gresham, Joey Mercury. These people were very, very hard on getting the in-ring stuff mint. And I give a lot of my in-ring ability credits to Cheeseburger and John Gresham, because they worked on things with me that nonstop, over and over. Me and Delirious would do matches in the ring for an hour long of training. So that's how I really grew, just wrestling nonstop and having no time to stop is how you really grow, I feel like. And they challenged me.
Well, I always think it's you tell me if I'm wrong. I think this about everything, not just wrestling. So maybe I could be wrong because I'm not a wrestler, but you let me know if I'm wrong. But I do think it's a situation of reps, right? It's the more you do something, the better you get at it, and having the opportunity to do it more often, right? And I think sometimes people feel like, they go to training, they do a camp, they leave, they get signed off or greenlit to go wrestle, and then they might go wrestle once a month. And that's not enough. You need to keep going to training. You need to keep getting reps. And I think is that something you would advise younger people to do?
Totally. Oh my gosh. I would wrestle 3 or 4 days a week, shows, and I would train too. So I would be in a ring at least 6 days a week sometimes. And yes, reps is everything. As long as they're good reps, you want to be trained with people who are good and know what they're doing. I always say there's 4 or 5 schools that I will always give credit to. Lou Gotti in Texas is one that's for the South who is really, really good. Monster Factory.
Yeah.
At the time, Danny Cage, he's amazing. At the time, Ring of Honor Dojo obviously was where I was and had the experience of being in, and it was phenomenal. But there's no dojo there anymore. Worldwide Dojo. Cheeseburger runs it with Sumi every now and then.
Okay.
Sumi helped me out a lot too. She was so hard. It was so good. She's so hard on you when you're like, oh my gosh, she's amazing. One of the best people I've ever worked with. She's a doll inside and out the ring. Creator Pro, as you know, and Wrestle Pro. Those places are all bar none places that people should seek out and learn from. So
there you go, guys. Those are 5 great recommendations for you if you're looking for a wrestling school.
Yeah, Brian Myers, all these people, they got it. They know what they're doing. Their resume speaks for itself. And yes, reps are everything.
Let's go to what happened next then, right? Because eventually you were to wrestle in Japan and somewhere in your journey. And I don't know if that was more recently, but you got to wrestle in Japan. How was that for you, and how different was that for you than wrestling here in North America?
So I went over the holidays. It was definitely different getting away from the family during the holiday season. I always wrestle I always wrestle. You know, any holiday doesn't matter. I'm always wrestling. But being away for a few days is definitely a change. But wrestling in Japan is a dream come true, of course. I tell you what, the culture over there is just wrestling-wise phenomenal. The wrestlers out there are phenomenal. And the way they treat professional wrestling is just beautiful. You feel the passion. You walk in the building. I worked at First Ring, Shinkiba. It's a very sacred wrestling arena. You walk in and you see that, and you just feel the passion these people have for wrestling and how seriously they take it. Because a lot of the time on the independent scene, sometimes people don't take it as seriously as they should. It's very sad. Yeah. It's very sad. And I always try to say, like, this is a really beautiful business to be in. People are lucky to be a part of this. We should be grateful every day we have a chance to be in the ring. You know what I mean? That's what I believe. How many people could say they get to go in a ring and wrestle?
It's a privilege.
It's a privilege. It really is.
Yeah.
So, and I'm so blessed to be in the spot that I'm in, where I'm at now in my career, because never would have thought I would get this with all this stuff's happening. It's so surreal. But like I said, Japan is just, they get it. They treat this like it's everything. And I love that. And if I could be around people who are like that more, chef's kiss.
100%. Would you say that you would want to spend a longer time in Japan if you could, or?
Yeah, definitely. There are some talks about that, but yes, I think I love the culture. Like I said, I love the culture of Japan. I love wrestling in Japan. I just want to wrestle. Yeah. Like I have so much passion for this. This is all I love to do, and I really gonna switch a little bit and say that like, as much as I've worked on the in-ring and I've done so much training in ring, the character aspect of it really set me aside set me out to where things have really snapped for me, clicked for me.
Yeah.
So, for example, my career started blowing up big time when I had created the Power Punch character, when it became a thing. Because before that, I was just a white meat babyface, you know?
Yeah.
Generic, young. I had a little charisma. You know, there's some fun stuff there, but as EC3 said to me, you have the it factor, I just don't know what it is yet.
Yeah.
Eventually, he called me. He said to me, him and JC, they called me. They said, "This is you." And they pitched a character to me. They said, "This is not even a character. This is who you are anyway." Because I drink energy drinks. I'm energetic, as you could see. Yeah. So they said, just lean into who you are more and just own it and be it, you know? And literally, once I started the energy drink thing and I started the Power Punch character, I did it on a show. The fans lost their shit. Loved it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I was a villain. I was supposed to be a heel. Yeah. And the fans and a few times I'm trying to be a bad guy, and the fans are still cheering it and loving it and enjoying it because the characters are so different and it's just so unique and it's me. It's real. So over time, I started entering the energy drink, doing energy drink skits, energy drink videos, funny stuff. Eventually, I did a spot in the match where I got the drink, did a whole comeback with the drink, and did a whole thing. Went viral on Twitter.
Yeah.
4 days later, Bang Energy sent me a contract.
That's amazing.
I was like, this ain't real. I was actually on the phone with Cheeseburger getting gas. And I was like, the email, I got Bang Energy contract? That's not real. And then later on, I'm in Walgreens shopping around, and I'm like, let me see this. And then I go on the bottom. There's a phone number, the logo, and a signature. And I'm like, you know what? This might be real. So then I was invited to a movie premiere. I go out there. I'm around people who have been around these things. So I showed the contract. They were like, this is a good contract. Sign it. You must, because this is a once-in-a-lifetime type of deal. How many wrestlers can say they got signed by Bang Energy? Not many.
Yeah.
Sign the contract. Boom. Done. And then after that, Kurt Angle podcast. Every big podcast called me. All these newsletters got me on, all these things. And I'm like, this is just surreal. This is like a real thing now. Now that I have this contract, this is like really, really different and standing out. Eventually, Bang had a lawsuit going on, and they kind of had to separate from their creators and just kind of do their own thing. A week later, new contract, G Fuel Energy. And that company, like this brand right here, changed my life. Yeah. Once that happened, people were like, wow, this is crazy. You signed with Bang, and then now G Fuel. This is something that's special. This is something. So then I got on the Kurt Angle podcast and promoted that. Shortly after that, I got on the Gangrel podcast and really promoted with Gangrel. Gangrel is somebody who has had so much faith in this character and has helped me out tremendously with this character. And then recently I did the Road Dogg podcast, and just getting the sign off on these guys who really believe in the character and believe in me is just such a beautiful thing, No,
100%. So how much do you think, right? Because I've always been and I've said this like redundant at this point if you follow me really closely, that I am a character storyline guy. Like I love good in-ring wrestling. I'm as much a wrestling fan as anybody else. And I think we've fallen in a really weird era where a lot of people want emphasis on the in-ring wrestling, but they don't realize they still tend to enjoy it more, and it has a longer lasting effect when you're invested in the characters and the people doing these things. How do you feel about that? Do you think that character is something that should be more focused on in professional wrestling? And I'm not saying like you need to be the Undertaker or some crazy character, but like something that people can invest into rather than just being a wrestler that does the moves.
You're nail on the head, bro. Nail on the head. It's something that I focused so long on the in-ring stuff, and I've mastered a lot of things in the ring. But it didn't click for me until I had a character that was very marketable, and a character that works and got signed by, brands. So it's like, yes, you could do all these cool moves, but if there's no reason behind it or something that makes you stand out from the pack, you know what I mean? Yeah. I love in-ring stuff. I love technical wrestling. But if I add a little character to it, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Again, I've tried my best, and I'm lucky to have found the character when I needed to, because I've done a lot of really cool stuff in the ring. But now when the character came, it was like perfect timing. Everything came together. Because in the same week I got G Fuel, I did New Japan, and I was able to do a whole collab. It was so cool. But I've done my best to really not get typecasted as energy drink guy. You know what I mean? Because not every match I'll use the drink. I'll save it for moments that need it most, like I did with New Japan. It was a good moment to use that drink and get that character really hit. And I also had a really good match. It was a really good in-ring match, and then you add a little bit of character energy drink stuff, and then boom, there you go. So if you could really be good in the ring and then sprinkle in your character, whatever it is, if it's dead man, if it's zombie, it's, you know what I mean? If you're a zombie, for example, you have a really good match, and then you throw in a little sequence where you're a zombie or like undead. It's just you'll be able to avoid being typecasted that way, because sometimes there's characters where they're just straight up say they're a mime and they're just a mime, right? Yeah, it's like, okay, this is just a mime. But if you could wrestle and do all these things and then sprinkle in the mime character to it, there you go. You got money there, because now you show the people and the fans you can do both.
No, I agree, and I just think it matters a lot. And I think we're in a generation right now where if you were to compare wrestling today to, let's say, like 15, 20 years ago, 100%, everyone's like way more athletic. And the athleticism is above and beyond, and everyone can do amazing things. Yep. The issue with that is the more people that can do the same things, the less spectacular it gets. Especially for like the older fan base. I think for the younger fan base, it's always going to be cool. They're always going to pop up. As older fans, it's like the more we see it, the more I see someone do a moonsault now, it's not as impressive as it was, 10 years ago or it was like that. But if I'm invested in the character, I'll always be invested in what's happening. Always. I'm invested in the character. I'm invested in the story. I want to see what's going to happen. And I think you need to have a perfect combination of both. I just think people don't focus. I feel like in the independents a lot, it's not taught a lot to like, hey, figure out how to cut a promo or figure out how to, build a character. And it's like, and then I always feel like that's the time you get to like experiment with it the most. Because you can go to like two different promotions and be two totally different people. And it won't make a difference, you know, because sometimes in your head you think that everyone's watching, but like it won't make a difference until you're on a larger stage where like, okay, whatever you do is what's gonna stick. But right now, when you're on the independents, do everything, no matter where you go, because this is where you get to try things out. When did you get comfortable with talking and cutting promos and doing stuff like that and doing the skits? Because it sounds easy because you do it.
Mm-hmm.
But for anyone that actually does stuff, like even myself doing this interview and putting yourself out there, it's not easy. Not everyone can do it. You have to get over and out of your comfort zone. So how did you get there?
So just a side note real quick, MJF is somebody's great example. His character, his in-ring's amazing. Everyone knows he could wrestle, he could do everything. But you will always care about him because his character is just so perfect that no matter what he does, he will have those fans invested in what he's doing. And that's going to set him up forever. But now, yes, these promos I do, the vignettes I do with other talent, pretty much it's just a fun little content thing I've been doing. They're promos. It's basically a backstage segment, but they involve my character and the other person's character just combined. Pretty much 99% of them, one take.
Yeah.
Right? No double takes ever. So I've had to, I've done them with EC3, Gangrel, Morrison. I've had so many guys I've done these vignettes with. And if you have one shot for one take and you get it done right, that's it, So I've learned to really get in the mindset of this character. Like that. You have to really just switch yourself in a minute's second notice. So it's at first it was different. I had to stand there, EC3 in my face, and cut this promo with him and just like match his energy and match him and do what I would do as a character to answer what he has to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like you learn that way. I've done so many of these, and it just it's just over time it becomes easy.
Yeah.
Like the one I did with Bobby Fish, that one got like 110,000 views on Twitter.
Yeah.
It one take, done, boom. You know what I mean? John Morrison, one take, boom, done. So like these promos, these vignettes, you only got one take. Make it right, make it work, boom. So it's like you have to work. So it took me a little while to get that done. Like I said, I would be in Orlando doing promos with EC3 and like people down in that area, and just like cut promos, boom, 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 nonstop. Ryzen was there, help with doing promo stuff with Ryzen. Jamie Stanley. These people are just so it was so cool, and just nonstop promos, nonstop.
That's good because like you got to get comfortable with it, right? Do you feel like you were ever really camera shy though, or did you like grow up as someone that was like you like to kind of entertain? Good
question. I love that question actually. Not camera shy. I never had an issue wearing trunks because people would say, "Oh, how do you wear those? How do you wear that in the ring?" People watching, and I've never had an issue. It's never been. I guess because I played football and people like video football, so it's different. Yeah. But cutting a promo my first time on a show was definitely scary a little bit.
Yeah.
But over time,
I'd say you're more of an extrovert. I've met a lot of wrestlers and I've talked to a lot of wrestlers that are obviously they're on TV and they're professional wrestlers, but they'll tell me they're an introvert, and I'm like, I get that. Like when they're doing that, they're cool with it, but when they're at home, they're not like that. And it's such a weird balance. So I feel like you're an extrovert. I feel like
I love talking.
Yeah. I get that. Let's talk about some of the you've dropped a lot of big names. Let's talk about some of the big names you've worked with, because you've worked with EC3, you've worked with Bobby Fish, you've worked with John Morrison. These are some of the biggest names in the industry and popular names that people have known throughout the years. How has it been working with them? What is some of the greatest advice you've gotten from these people? And like, what does it mean to you when they're like, "Yeah, dude, I'll do the skit with you," like for sure.
So skits, they're awesome, but wrestling these people has been just bar none. Like I would tell you, my favorite match I ever had was against Rocky Romero.
Okay,
he is bar none, probably the best in the world. Like I stand by that. He could do anything in the ring, and he's just phenomenal. His snap, his precision is just phenomenal. I worked him, and it was just a different experience. Just seeing how good he is. It's like wow. Like there's some wrestlers you see, like talk to them, and they'll mention people that are really good. And Rocky Romero, phenomenal. Matt Sydal is another one who I wrestled, who was very, very fun to wrestle. Gangrel, I could not say enough good things about Gangrel. He's just so giving of his time to help people out and get people better. His advice, he's always been supportive of me. He always helped me out. But like once I got this character, he was behind it completely. Like, and he said to me, once his character was pretty new, a few months in, he says, you need to sign a contract with the engine company. And 3 months later, I do it. 2 months later. But he was just always supportive of that character, and he just always words of wisdom, you know. EC3, somebody I wrestled many, many times. He is somebody who, bar none, one of the best minds in wrestling. No one realizes how good he is. His mind in wrestling is just really different, but really good.
Yeah.
I've had some really cool matches, man. It's been a wild. Fuego del Sol, we had a match in Texas last year. Really, really good match. Cheeseburger, somebody I wrestled many times. My trainer, of course, you know, student versus trainer matches. Matt Seidel, again. Matt Seidel is somebody who he could go. And he could go and like he's just phenomenal wrestler. Amazing people.
If people that are watching this want to watch some of your matches, what are like 3 matches you would recommend them to watch on YouTube of yours, if you could tell them right now?
They're on IWTV, but they should be on YouTube too. Definitely me was Bobby Fish. That was a very fun one, very different. A lot of strikes.
Yeah.
Definitely me and Rocky Romero. That one is my favorite match I ever had. He is, like I said, bar none, one of the best in the world. And I like to say me and EC3 in Maine Vacation Land 2021. I would say that match was really what changed everything for me. Because if it wasn't for him and a few of his friends to help me get this character and like find this character and believe in me, I wouldn't have what I have now. So that match really showed him my abilities and made him invest in me. And that was a test, a match. That match was a test for me. So definitely that was a really fun one. So those are 3 matches I really, really enjoyed. The significance of the EC3 one, because that one set up a lot for the future. You know, like once we get that match, he's like, you're really good. I really want to just see what you can do in character-wise. I want to push you to find the promo level. I want to push you to get these promos out. So once having someone like that invest in you and want to help you grow and get you better, it's such a beautiful thing.
What does the future hold for Vinny Pacifico? Like, have you ever had any talks with WWE or AEW or MLW? Like, have you worked with any of these companies for an extent? Or
I worked with MLW.
Yeah,
definitely some stuff could happen there. They're a great spot. Love people. Love who they booked. They got. Love Richard Holiday. He's amazing. He's somebody that I would love to wrestle. Yeah, I wrestled him before, but I would love to have a match with him again, like soon. Now, what does the future hold? There's something there's a lot to look forward to. A lot.
Yeah.
Some projects that I can't even get into because it's just I can't yet.
You can't. Yeah.
But there's some things that are very, very unique and things that will probably be very, very big. I can't say for sure. I can't say what it is, but there's
meaning I'm gonna have to you come back on here like later on to rediscuss all this new stuff coming up.
It'll probably be the new thing will probably be in a month or two, but like I just can't say it now. But it's very, very big. It's a dream. Another dream match I have. Me and Paul London happening very soon.
Oh, dope!
I'm wrestling Charlie Haas February 3rd.
Dope. That's crazy. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, Charlie Haas is amazing. He's phenomenal in the ring, and Paul London too. Another guy I'm wrestling in March. Phenomenal. But other than that, there's a lot of really cool things in the works that are going to be things that I'm very excited for, and the announcement will probably be very soon. I don't know when, but it'll be big. I'm telling you.
Guys, keep your eyes out for that. I'm looking forward to it. This guy's, not allowed to tell us. Do you get no exclusives over here? But...
Okay, little exclusive. I can tell you. I work with G Fuel, and there will be some cool things with G Fuel happening. Whether it be skits, whether it be skits or commercials or things to look forward to there. Keep your eyes open because there will be things. There will be many things. A lot of things right now. It's a very pivotal moment in my career. These next few weeks are going to be very, very big and a lot of moving parts. So stay tuned because these things can be life-changing for me and just really cool and just wrestling stuff.
Have you ever thought of vlogging a little bit? Like having like a little vlog? Or is that a thing? I feel like you could do that with what you've been doing.
I'm thinking about it. I just don't really know what to do. I don't really know. Like, oh, hey, guys, I'm just here. I don't really know how to really do it. I got to maybe look into them more. But yeah, I think I could vlog some stuff. It seems like it could be really fun.
100%, especially like BTS of recording the skits and kind of just
that stuff too. Yes, the BTS is fun. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So like, you don't have to do it all the time, but like if you're recording a skit, here's like another vlog, I have a match coming up, yada yada yada. We're trying to record this, maybe some clips of the match, put it all together. Just an idea as a social media marketing guy over here. But
very good idea. I like it.
Thank you. I know. Thank you. But it was a pleasure talking to you, man. I mean, I usually ask this question to everyone. Recently, I don't know when I started doing it, but I started doing it. But I'm curious to ask you too. Like at this very point, do you feel like you've made that 14-year-old kid that went to go meet Brian Danielson proud? Do you think if you were to talk to that kid, do you think you made that younger self of you proud so far?
That's an amazing question, Justin. I appreciate that question a lot. I don't know if I'll ever be satisfied with what I'm doing. I never stop working. I never sit back and just see what I did. It's always, oh, this is cool, but now what's next? But if I had this, my wife told me to do this. If I had to sit back and just see the things that I've done, starting to deal with Bang Energy, starting to deal with G Fuel, how many guys can say they did that? You know what I mean? On the indie scene at that. I don't think any. So to be able to sit back and say I've done that, and to say I've been invited to a movie premiere, to say I've been to Japan, to say I wrestled for New Japan in America, wrestled these talents, and the thing that I'm doing this month that I can't say yet.
Yeah.
I would say that I am very proud of what the 14-year-old Vinny will be very proud with current Vinny. I think that if I sat back and just looked at things and I said and took perspective of what I'm doing and who I'm speaking to and the people I'm dealing with, I would be very proud, because I never would have thought that I would have what I have now. Is now Vinny satisfied? No, I want more, and I'm always ready for more. But I think 14-year-old Vinny would sit back and say, wow, I can't believe you did this stuff. This is really, really cool. Keep going.
Well, first off, I want to say congratulations. I know you recently got married not too long ago. I think
Thank you very much.
And I do want to give a big shout out to your wife, because I think that is like, I'm very big on, like, I've gotten a lot of pieces of advices that have stuck with me throughout the years. I know people like Cleo Thomas told me to just start, and I always love that piece of advice. Like, just start. Don't worry if it's good, crappy, or whatever. Just start, because eventually you'll get better. Shout out to the Bollywood boys. They always tell me to, like, just show up places. Just show up.
Yeah.
Even if you got booked, you got nothing to do. Just show up, because if you're there, that's where you're gonna network. That's where you're gonna meet people. It's better that you're in the scene than not in the scene. Keep yourself in the game. But another piece of advice that a friend of mine gave me, once again, a female friend, but like, she gave me that always stuck with me, because similar to yourself, I'd always be like, man, I want to do this. I'm not here. Why am I not doing this yet? How is this? Like, you kind of sometimes compare myself to others, like, how are they there and I'm not there yet? Like, would get, and this was like years ago. I'm not like that anymore, because she's like, like, have you ever like just sat there and like wrote down the things you have done and then looked at it and realized like how cool that is to other people that haven't done it? Like, you could, like, we talked about a little bit off the air prior when you were like giving me congratulations about all my success and what I've done. I'm like, yeah, I got to interview Stone Cold and I got to do this. And I say that, it's like, it just kind of flies out of her mouth and it goes away. But then I don't ever really sit and think about like how cool that is to so many other people that wish they could do that. Wish they could interview Stone Cold. I wish they had this. I wish they could do this. And I take it for granted sometimes. Really early on in this program, you said something that you realize that you're really grateful that you get to wrestle. And I said that, it's because it's a privilege, because there's many people that want to do this, and they do, but they don't get to reach a certain level of success. There's many people that want to do this and they get hurt really early on in their career and they can't wrestle, or they have different circumstances in their life, or financially they don't get to pursue that dream. They have to go in a different direction or whatever, right? It is a privilege. And I think that is a really good, perspective to have, is to actually sit there and look at what you've already done.
Yeah.
And actually be like, show some gratitude to the fact that you got to do these things and that they are really cool and that you've actually achieved quite a bit. And you might not, listen, I'm not where I want to be at the end goal. And I don't think you're where you want to be at the end goal.
Not yet.
But with age, I started realizing I don't think you're ever really satisfied when you're at that end goal, because then it's something else that you want.
The next thing.
And then it's something else that you want, right? So if I could give any advice, it's, your wife was right, but to add on to that, appreciate the journey along the way and all the people you meet.
Exactly.
Because one day you're going to be able to look back and you're going to appreciate them and you're like, man, I remember when this person did this for me, or that person gave me this handout, or that person helped me with this, and they really didn't have to. And it's the people that are around you. And that's the thing, right? Like, people are really, so I'm going a little bit of a rant here, but I think people are very hard people. People are very hard, and they're very cynical, and we have this thing of like, if we don't talk to someone for a very long time, that relationship is gone, or, oh, we're not that close anymore, or like, oh, I don't really know that person anymore. Like, someone does you wrong. I'm the type of person where I'm like, I think everybody that's been part of my life, whether they did me wrong or good or whatever, like, I don't need to love them or like show them so much appreciation or anything if they really were assholes and whatnot. But I understood what role everyone played in my life to put me in the position where I am today. And if the fact that they put me in the position I am today, then great. If you were the bad guy in my story, great. If you were a good guy in my story, great. If we don't talk anymore, I still have love for you. Not like I love you, like I'm in love with you, but I have love for you, and I have love for lots of people because you're all part of my story. And I'm part of your story. And I hope people can appreciate people that way when they get older, because it's like, even the little people that were part of your story, they matter. Thing. Yeah, that matters. You know what I mean? We connected in 2014. I do remember when you started wrestling. I do remember when you told me you were going to start wrestling. I do remember you sending me stuff all the time. You're like, hey, can you share this? Do you mind sharing that? I would share it. And, you know, sometimes I would forget, sometimes I share, but we always stayed connected. You know, always. And even the last few months, you've been hitting me up a little bit more often, which is totally cool. And I'm still like, yeah, it's
here
cool.
We are.
I feel like and I feel like, because I've known you for so long, but like, I feel like you just gotta appreciate it all, man. I feel like that happens when you go through some stuff, some experiences and whatnot. So keep grinding, keep looking out for the next thing, but appreciate the journey, man. Really, like, it's so cliche, but there really is beauty in the journey.
It really is. And it's hard to, like you said, it's nail on the head. It's so hard to appreciate the small things, but every single person you meet, connect to, I say this all the time. You are one, I love you. You're one goodbye. You are one thank you away from saving someone's life, possibly. You never know. You never know.
And you never know. And this might be just me being a little sentimental because my dad passed away last year. You really don't know. And you really don't know when it's like the last time you're going to see someone.
Yeah.
Or the last time you're really going to talk to someone. And there's been a lot of stuff like that that's happened in wrestling in the past year. Like today's the anniversary of the loss of Jay Briscoe. Rest in peace, Jay Briscoe, a great guy. Yes. But, like, you know, some people didn't know when it was the last time they were going to see Jay wrestle or, you know, meet him at a meet and greet. Like, I've met him a bunch of times and whatnot. And it's crazy to think that. And so I'm just like, just be grateful for the people around you on that journey with you. I think sometimes people can get really selfish and they can forget. Or it's the wrestling business. You don't know who you can trust sometimes. And it's like, who's really your friend and who's not your friend.
You never know. You never know.
But like, even at the end of the day, just, I think, being a good person yourself and just riding with it all, and like, you know, keeping the eyes behind the back of your head, but also being like, you know, I'm cool. You know, I'm good. I'm grateful for what happened. Like, you gotta do this stuff. The last thing I'm going to ask you, and I'm going to let you go on a little rant here, because I feel like you've talked about this quite a bit.
Shoot.
And I want you to share about it. Because I feel like this is what you've been doing a lot. How do you feel about the idea of the law of attraction and manifestation? And is it something you think people should, like, what do you think is the best way for people to, are you like, I write it down type of person? Make notes about it? Like, when you set your goals and your deadlines, like, what is your process of doing that? And how would you recommend other people to do that?
Wow. See, this is a sick podcast because these questions are wild. I love it. I pray about things. Definitely prayer and sitting on things. So I sit here. And I'm always thinking. My mind is always going. So I'll be in the gym. Yeah. Like, whether I'm in the gym, whether I'm on the treadmill, I'm always writing things down or thinking about what's next. What small thing can I do? What promo can I do? What content can I do? What inquiry can I do? How many, or answering inquiries, right? So how do I process this? Okay. And for example, remember when I said before I had these 4 things possibly lined up, right?
Yeah.
Kurt Angle podcast, Brian Alvarez podcast, New Japan, Wrestling Alex Shelley, and then the G Fuel thing. That all 5 happened within a week. That I was just like, these are possibilities, and these are things that I need to make happen, and they happened. So I think it's a matter of knowing your goal, knowing where you want to end. I want to be on TV. How will I get there? Become a commodity, right?
Yeah.
So whether it be through my sponsorships and my personality and my charisma and my in-ring, and that I stand out, or whether it be how hard I work, or both. You don't know. But I believe that time is precious. So any time, you can't waste any time. The minute I wake up, the minute my alarm goes off at 6 a.m., out of bed, done, go. Gym, work, whatever it is, emails, promos, practice for promos, in-ring training, gym training, kickboxing, whatever it is, you just get up at the sound of your alarm, boom. That's something I believe. I told somebody for advice recently, and I said, the minute your alarm hits, get up. No hesitation. The minute you hear that alarm, out of bed, boom, 10 push-ups, right? Batman, right? You see Batman, Christian Bale. Remember he gets up and then goes down, push-ups. That's what I use sometimes to do. But when it's on push-ups, I just get up immediately and go to the gym. Boom, done. Shower, on to the next thing. So I believe having your goal at hand and having a goal every day and having an end goal of what you want to do. So I would write down the goal, right? What the goal is. I'd write down a bunch of mini goals that can get you to that goal, right?
Yeah.
Every day, do at least one or two things that get you closer to get that goal while doing things that you need to do. The gym, meal prepping does not count. It has to be done every day, no matter what.
Yeah,
mandatory. So anything else you could do for your goal, whether it's promos, whether it's in-ring training, whether it's watching wrestling, tape study, just extra things you could do to get better in your goal. Whether it's wrestling, whether it's dancing, whether it's music, whether it's whatever it is. Have that end goal and then have things that you do that are mandatory. Like, again, I never miss the gym. I go every single day, sometimes twice. So that doesn't count. But anything else, emails, answering emails, sending emails, thinking of new gear designs, training, cardio, in-ring training, promos, content, anything, right? So it's just so much you could do. But I truly believe having an end goal and having small goals around it to support that goal and make you get closer to that goal is something to do every day.
How do you deal with rejection? Because we've heard a lot about good things that happen and worked out, but what happens when something doesn't work out? How do you bounce back?
Was that the question? Was that a good answer to that question, by the way?
That was a great question. Okay. That was a great answer, Because, I think that's something someone could do. Writing it down, having mini goals to go along with it, you're kind of ticking off the mini goals, so at least you feel like you're doing something every day to achieve that goal.
Yeah, gamer side
exactly,
quests, right?
Because it's giving you like, okay, like, because I think that's sometimes true. Right? Like sometimes when I have nothing going on, I'm like, at least okay, I should be going to the gym if I have nothing going on right now. So I feel like I'm doing something that day, accomplish something to move forward. I feel like everyone should be doing something that's moving them forward every day. And it's okay to have a lazy day here and there, but like make sure you're grinding to like get to where you want to be. Obviously, in your situation, you're an athlete, you're a professional wrestler. It's a little different. You got to be grinding. But rejection, like say if something doesn't go your way, how do you bounce back from that? Because that is part of it. And I think there's we've been talking about a lot of the positives, but how are you someone when you deal with something that doesn't go exactly as planned?
So I believe everything happens for a reason. I've had moments that things didn't happen, and I'm like, damn, but then you saw why.
Yeah.
A few months later, you see exactly why things didn't happen.
Yeah.
Right? And anything, whether it be relationships, whether it be a certain opportunity, whether it be a job, whether it be whatever it is, you will always see in the future why it didn't work out. I believe, regardless of what no you're told, yes, whatever, all you need is one yes. Right?
Yeah.
That's the thing. So every no you get is closer to that yes. And I believe that every no you could learn from. That's something I've really gotten to learn. Every no is something you could learn from and a way to do something better and make yourself more valuable. So there's no way they can say no. It's called, in opportunity wise, become undeniable, basically.
Yeah.
So every no you learn from, right? So every no, if there's, okay, not in good enough shape. Okay, I gotta get in shape. Boom. Or your promos aren't good enough. Okay, gotta get better promos. There has to be an answer for why, and then how I can get there and become undeniable to get to that yes.
No, 100%, and that's a good answer too. You take those no's as a lesson of okay, what can I do that's different to turn that no into a yes. I think that's great. I know those are a little bit more hard-hitting, deeper questions, but I wanted to ask you, I think it's always good to kind of know the mindset of people that are doing stuff in the industry and accomplishing things, because there's people that watch these that also want to do the same stuff. Last but not least, it was a pleasure having you on here.
Thank you so much.
Where can people find you on social media?
Twitter, Vinny Pacifico 1, Instagram, Vinny Pacifico, Facebook, Vinny Pacifico, and a newly made TikTok at Vinny Pacifico.
So Vinny Pacifico, everyone's social media, guys, give him a follow, check him out, watch the rise of the Power Punch kid over here. Check out G Fuel, man. Get you guys' G Fuel. Support Vinny.
Code Power Punch
stuff. Yeah. Code Power Punch. Use the code Power Punch. You can save some money on some G Fuel. It's 10 years for both of us. Let's see where we go from here, man.
Let's do it, bro. Let's keep going.
Mine was an accident. Yours was a desired push to go where you're going. But we're both here doing some stuff. And it was a pleasure having you on. And we'll have you back on eventually when some of the stuff comes out about what you're doing, and we'll have maybe a quick catch up or something.
Sounds
I
great.
hope everyone enjoys this episode, and there's more to come this year. We'll see who we get on this year. I don't know if I can beat last year, but we're trying. And hope you guys all keep doing the thing. We'll see you all later.
Thank you.
It's time to say goodnight. We sincerely appreciate your patronage and hope we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon. Good night.